So let's rewind a little bit. We were living in Connecticut on a 10-acre, beautiful little homestead, farmstead called Squash Hollow Farm.
Yeah, we had been
For
there.
years and years, I kept saying no to taking over the family farm in Pennsylvania. You're going to find out why and what finally changed my mind in today's snippet preview of an upcoming podcast episode. Make sure to subscribe to the Homesteady podcast so you don't miss this entire episode when it goes live the first week of April.
So let's rewind a little bit. We were living in Connecticut on a 10-acre, beautiful little homestead, farmstead called Squash Hollow Farm.
Yeah, we had been there 7 years.
7 years. As we said in the last episode, your parents came to visit back in February of 2018. And your dad threw what he had been throwing at us for a long time. He threw out the offer again. Hey, would you guys like to move to Pennsylvania? But there was something a little bit different about this offer.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely added a little bit more of the, he needed help. So he tugged at my heartstrings. He said, we need help managing the family farm. Now, this farm is about 100 acres. It's been in my family since my great-grandfather, since I would say probably 30s. So 100 acres in the family since the 30s. My aunts and uncles all live here. My dad, my mom all live here. My sister lives on this property. But there's a large area of it that my dad had to be keeping up with. So it didn't mean farming. He wasn't farming it at all, but he was mowing, just making sure that the fields didn't all go to weeds and trees. And he said, I'm getting older. I want less to do. I know you guys are into the homesteading, the farming thing. It would be a great place for you all to move to do this. He's made this offer before, right? He's wanted us to move back for as long as we've been married, which has been 10 years. This time, I think he just made it and didn't really anticipate us agreeing to it, because it's been a hard no every time. But for us in this point in our lives, I think for the first time, oh no, you creaked.
I creaked.
For us in this point of our lives, for the first time, it actually kind of made sense. And you didn't say no right away.
I, for years, had an easy out of this because I didn't really, in the first place, personally want to move away from Connecticut. And my work was always in Connecticut. So it was like, no, we can't, no, we can't, no, we can't. But we had been transitioning to trying to do Homesteady full-time, YouTube full-time.
I am making a huge jump in my life right now. I've been running a marketing business, helping other clients make content, grow their businesses, build websites, videos. It's been a really great line of work, and I've enjoyed working with some really great businesses. But now I'm making a big jump. I'm going full-time with Homesteady. That means a full-time content creator. Will I have more free time? Honestly, I don't know. Content creation is a lot of work. Will I make more money? Definitely not right now. There is a pay cut. Will I have more freedom? Well, a lot of that depends on whether or not I build the right kind of business with my content business. It's a scary jump. I don't know if it's going to work.
We had been transitioning to trying to do Homesteady full-time, YouTube full-time, and that's a completely, internet business. We could live anywhere. And suddenly this offer, which had been rejected so many times, was like, you know what, I'm trying to do Homesteady. We could do more homesteading at the family farm. There'd be a lot more to do, a lot more space, better infrastructure. And I don't have any reason to stay in Connecticut for work, so I couldn't say no. And the fact that it wasn't my automatic, well, no, suddenly turned it into maybe yes. And that took your dad it took your dad and your mom by surprise.
The timing was kind of uncanny since we switched professions, the income naturally dropped, and living in a higher cost of living area was difficult. So we got this offer. We were already kind of contemplating moving to a lower cost of living area. Yeah, this kind of showed up, and it was something that was hard for you to say no to.
So as we told you in the last episode of the show, we said yes.
Yes.
My headphones just appeared on my head for the video watchers. By the way, if you're listening on the podcast, we're going to put some of this on YouTube too, so you can see the podcast.
See what it looks like.
And if you're watching on YouTube, hello. We looked into it. We decided, and actually it won't surprise any of the podcast listeners, with such a huge decision to make, I needed some help really processing it and seeing whether or not it was a good decision. So, of course...
Who you gonna call?
We all in the shot there? Those of you longtime fans
No.
of the show, some of you have been wondering, who is this guy who's been hanging out in the last few videos?
I don't know.
This is my best friend from high school. And after high school, he was the best man in my wedding, Accountant Mike. He also, for about 6 years, was the accountant for Squash Hollow Farm.
He dumped me.
Yes.
When you talk about seeds, what sort of cost is involved in these seeds?
You can tell he's never bought a seed.
We did all the math. It's actually costing you $2.62 to produce that dozen eggs. Was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
If we're talking about money, this is the easiest hands down I have ever, hands down, thumbs down, I have, all hands, just everything, the whole thing. If it's just money, this is a terrible idea and you should never do it.
We got a note. Official, absolutely a thumbs up. Great job.
Thank you.
This stuff looks really good out there.
Accountant Mike, me and him sat down and he said, what do you want for your life? And you and me had already sat down and written down what we wanted. Every year we kind of do a life goals. And it matched all the boxes of things we wanted. It would speed us up to getting to that point moving here. And so we did.
So we did.
I sat down with Accountant Mike and we went over it and we decided,
You and Mike decided yes.
decided. So, yeah, Mike said it looked like a good idea. Then we, of course, made the life decision.
Yes.
It wasn't Mike's decision.
I don't know. It probably was. As soon as he said yes, you were on board. You're
Accountant
like,
Mike gave it a
okay.
thumbs up, so we better move.
My logical side.
Midnight died down. Bring out the sun.
Next week, the first new Homesteady podcast to come out for an entire year comes out. Don't miss it. Click right here to subscribe. If you're Apple, Android, whatever phone you use, click this link and you can find a place to subscribe so you get the podcast as soon as it goes live. Enjoy this walk back in time as we review the journey from Connecticut to here that we affectionately called the Great Move.
All the while I want it